after the removal of Fawlty Towers from some streaming platforms, John Cleese has, depending on which site you listen to, either attacked or broken his silence on the matter. Let's hear what he has to say. Hello everyone, I am still Random 42, the one, the only, the original, still your favorite YouTube consumer advocate harpy. Yes, we're talking about one of my favorite shows, Fawlty Towers, and as you guys know, huge Anglophile, love the British comedy, love the classic stuff, and I don't like being told what I can and can't watch because somebody decided it was offensive. You know what? I'm an adult. I can make up my mind on what's offensive or not. And here we go. Variety. John Cleese slams removal of Fawlty Towers episode from streaming site. And in the intro, like I said, depending on which publication, he's either breaking his silence or he's attacking it. Here we go. According to Variety, John Cleese has attacked the decision to remove an episode of the sitcom Fawlty Towers from streaming site as stupid. Now, we also have another version of this, pretty much the same thing, coming from, here we go, The Express. I guess this is a tabloid, probably. The best way to go about this is to just read his Twitter thread, which was what I was doing last night. And, you know, I did make a video on all of the British shows that I really, really love and whether or not we really should be allowed to have the ability to decide for ourselves what's censored or what's not, what's offensive, what's not. What does this do for creativity? Well, for me, I think this does fuck all for creativity. This just makes people walk around on eggshells and not know what they can or can't say because in 20 years they're just going to get canceled for something because that's what we're in. That's the society when everybody's getting canceled for everything. You know, cancel Mecca because she said something that people are going to disagree with in 20 years or in 5 years or in 1 year or in 6 months. That's how everything is, and I'm getting tired of it. Well, John Cleese, he's breaking the silence after the Fawlty Towers episode for the slur. Well, it wasn't just that, though. It really wasn't. I like the Variety article better here, as well as taking a swipe at those who take revisionist view of history in the context of the whole BLM debate. On Friday, BBC-owned network UK TV announced on Twitter that it had temporarily removed an episode of Fawlty Towers, The Germans, from its gold download service as it contained, well, yeah, some offensive. It's Fawlty Towers. If you find one episode offensive, chances are you're probably going to find a lot of them offensive. That's not the debate right now. The debate is, when does this end? Where does this stop? The service said it wished to review the episode and consider our options. Just put a warning label on it. For crying out loud, stop going around treating the entire world like they are the 5 or 6 babies that don't want to hear it and don't want to see it, and go and scream at the top of their lungs, la la la, I can't hear you, shit something I'm sad about, la 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 la, can't hear you, No, don't. Stop caving to that. Just slap a warning label on it. If people are going to be offended, they're going to be offended. And maybe use that as a teaching tool to say, hey, look how far we've come. Oh, wait, we haven't because, yeah, we just have to forget about it. Apparently. See, this is where I get into rant mode. I wasn't ranting so much in my last video about it. It was a lot more calm and thought out. This is just me reacting. The service said it wished to review the episode. It's believed that the slurs are contained in the scene in which the character knows as the major uses, a word referring to a Caribbean sportsman. That's always been censored out, though, for here, there, and everywhere. That word gets censored and rebroadcast because as advertisers, now here's the real thing behind this. As the advertisers find things less and less advertiser friendly for general audiences, you're going to start seeing this, especially on older shows, especially on older properties. And it's kind of the same thing with YouTube, where you have to sort of rate your content. And that I have no problem with if they come in and say, hey, this contains language that was used in a time to make an example of why that language was bad. Absolutely. And that's the point of it. Speaking to an Australian newspaper, The Age, Cleese said the major was an old fossil left over from decades before. We were not supporting his views. We were making fun of them. If they can't see it, if the people are too stupid to see that, what can one say? Yes. yes, this is what we've been saying too forever. He slammed the BBC executives for yielding to pressure from protesters. A lot of the people in charge now at the BBC just want to hang on to their jobs, he said. If a few people get excited, they pacify them rather than standing their ground as they would have done 30 or 40 years ago. Exactly. And I agree with everything he says. Now, what did he say about recent stuff? Here we go. Let's just go into his Twitter feed here and his tweets while he's promoting his book. Talking, that's why they're so cowardly and gutless and contemptible. I rest my case. Well, this is all backwards in context. He says it's not just stupidity. The BBC is now run by a mixture of marketing people and petty bureaucrats. It used to have a large sprinkling of people who'd actually make programs. Not anymore. So, BBC decisions are made by persons whose main concern is not losing their jobs. And that's what you see all the time. This is what we see in Star Trek. This is what we see in pretty much every instance. This is why we have such shit entertainment. Because we have a few people who don't have balls anymore, who can't just say, you know what, slap a warning label on it and be done with it. If people are offended, then maybe some things are supposed to be offensive. Maybe you're supposed to look at the major and go, ooh, yeah, don't say that. Don't say that. As an example of what we are allowing and what's acceptable behavior in modern society. You know, maybe we need to learn from the past. I don't know, so we're not a bunch of idiots out there deciding to pour Gatorade on top of plants, because you know that's coming. That's coming in about 3 days. In about 3 days, it's gonna happen. Mark my words. We laughed at Alf's reactionary views and thus discredited him by laughing at him. Of course, there were people, very stupid people, who said, "Thank God someone is saying these things at last." We laughed at those people too. Now they're taking decisions about BBC comedy. Oh, there's more of this. I've liked some of these tweets too. I would have hoped someone at the BBC would understand that there are two ways of making fun of human behavior. One is to attack it directly. The other is have someone who is patently a figure of fun speak on behalf of that behavior. Think of Alf Garnett. Similarly, the Romans enslaved the British for 400 years. So, are we due reparations for the Italians? And Sir Isaac Newton was a shareholder in the South Sea Company, which included, trading among its activities. What do we do about his statues? It's rather complicated. This is, of course, I'm reading these backwards too, so I apologize. It's just how Twitter is laid out. And he states, I'm very confused about toppling statues. The Greeks, whose civilization has long been admired in the West, believed in the ancient world, a culture society was only possible if it was based on, doing bad things. Should be getting rid of statues of Socrates and Aristotle. And yeah, I'm going to call them Socrates because why not at this point? I get why people get offended and upset. I also get why people are, I get it. I get both sides of the argument on this one. And of course, my side is always going to be, I would rather know about something that has happened that was bad than forget everything ever existed, because then you end up with a whole generation of a bunch of dumb idiots running around thinking that they can censor and control and change everything, thinking that they're the only people who ever mattered. They're thinking that they're the first people who ever did anything. And just like when Brie Larson comes in and is like, oh, you can't see, you can't be what you can't see. I'm messing up her quote too, and I'm gonna have to edit that now. You can't be what you can't see. It's like, well, yes, but somebody always has to be the first now, don't they? And you know what, Brie? Don't fight your reality on this one.
As much as we can, just believe and not fight our reality.
Yes, that things have happened before the current generation existed, and things will continue to happen for hundreds and hundreds of years, assuming we don't really mess that up. So this whole mentality of, oh, we're the first and we're the most important and we're the bestest thing ever because we're the first people and you're just wrong and you're just a bunch of boomers. To that I say, learn something about where you've come from. Learn something about what's happened before. I get very upset when I see censorship in any form because I feel like I would rather be treated like an adult who's allowed to make their own decisions rather than letting a bunch of bureaucrats cave to the screaming babies out there who just get offended by everything. I don't know. Maybe I'm just outdated. Maybe I'm just a boomer. Maybe I just need to cancel Mecca again. I don't know.
Shut the fuck up.
All right, Admiral Hubris, I will end the video now. If you guys do like the content, like, subscribe, share. YouTube is definitely hiding the channel, and I know I'm saying it at the end when nobody sees it, but I gotta do the plug. Also, click your notification bell. Do all of the subscription thingies. Share the videos, the little swooshy arrow. What am I forgetting? Oh yeah, remember Fawlty Towers?
Remember Chewbacca again?
Yeah, I'd like to remember Fawlty Towers as it was created instead of as some dumb person decided I should be seeing it because I am not mature enough to handle it, apparently. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!